Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lunch for the Soul. I'm Melissa Wilson from Fox 26. I'm a morning anchor and also a medical reporter. And for the next 20 minutes or so, we're just going to have a beautiful conversation about faith and how that can get us through the darkest times, no matter what we're going through in life. And are you ever going to love our guest? I want you to meet, I feel like we need a drum roll because she is an unbelievable person, Kirsten Ricketts. Hello, how are you?
Good. I'm
Everyone,
good.
this is the Restorer of City Streets. She has come up with this nonprofit because she has come a long way, baby. I don't even know where to begin with you, Kirsten, but I think we need to start with your story. I mean, going back to 2001 when things were really rough for you and you hit rock bottom. Tell me what you were going through, including a really terrible time of what every woman tries to protect, and that's your face. I mean, what a tough time for you.
In 2001, I was battered by my ex-husband, and he pulverized the right side of my face. He crushed the lower orbital lobe and broke the maxillary. And they put in 3 plates and 9 screws. When the attack occurred, we were in a vehicle, and he beat me in the face and then kicked me out of the vehicle onto the side of the road. And a car that was following us had seen what had happened, and they pulled over to make sure that I was okay and called an ambulance. So that really, during that time, I went into recovery. And when I was recovering, I started I had been using drugs previously. I had been drinking and using drugs, but I thought I had it under control. But during that time span while I was recovering, the drugs and alcohol really took hold of my life, and I spiraled out of control.
And that meant that you had to unfortunately spend time in jail, didn't it? And that was a really tough thing to deal with. It's everyone's worst fear, I think.
The drugs and alcohol had taken over to such a point that I didn't see any way out. And so getting caught in that net, I began selling drugs and selling my body to be able to survive. And so in 2004, I had sold some drugs to an undercover officer that eventually landed me in jail.
And then after that, you lost your nursing license. So that was a really tough time to figure out, well, I'm digging myself in this hole. How do I ever get out? And that's when you tried everything you possibly could, right? To get sober, every kind of program known to mankind.
I did. I went all over the United States, going to treatment centers and AA groups and searching in different religions and new age stuff and philosophy and self-help and all of these things. And nothing sufficed to keep me sober.
But something happened 2010. You'd been in jail, 6 months or so? You got out, and that was it. You were done. You never went back. You never looked back. What was the turning point?
Well, I had there was during 2008, 2009, I had met a gentleman in a crack house that had started ministering to me. So Jesus was working on my heart. There were things that were happening. And then in 2010, the last time that I went to jail, there was a scripture that he gave me, and it said, "If you so choose to follow other gods, you will surely perish." And it pierced my heart like a knife. And I knew that if I went back to the drugs and alcohol, if I returned to the men, if I started doing the things that I had done before, he was just going to take me out of here. There wasn't any point in me being on this planet anymore. And so at that point, I just completely surrendered and gave my life to the Lord. And I said, I don't want to live that life anymore. So if you're going to keep me here, do whatever you want with me. And that's where we've been on a daily basis ever since.
And wow, how far you have come, not only cleaning your own life up, but trying to make a difference in so many others. So you started a nonprofit. Tell me about that. And Restore of City Streets, just the name of your organization says everything, but there's a lot that goes into that. Tell us about it.
Well, in 2015, I put the paperwork together for the nonprofit, and we started in Deer Park, Texas, in a house that was previously the refuge. And so the women were coming out of local detox centers like New Hope, the Way Out Center, and off the streets. And then we applied later on, we got with TDCJ and were approved once we moved to Livingston, Texas, to be alternative housing for those who were exiting the system. But it was a building point. It didn't happen overnight. And so with a lot of perseverance and tenacity, we just stuck with it. And now those doors have opened for us and also for them.
And what a difference you're making in lives. I mean, I want to start showing some different pictures, and you can kind of walk us through some times. I mean, when we take a look at what you've been through, I mean, that had to be a pretty tough time right there, right?
Well, this right here is actually, oh, well, there we go.
There we go. Let's go back to this one.
The Texas, they're the air conditioned advocates is who they are. And they go out with this mock cell. And so it heats up because in the Texas prison system, there's no air conditioning or heating. And so they're either burning up or they're freezing cold. And so we went out dressed in our whites and then participated in, that's Montgomery County is where we are there. Representative Ron Reynolds came out that day and supported our efforts to advocate for air conditioning inside the prison system.
Now let's go back to when it was really tough. Nobody wants this license, right?
No, you don't want that. You don't want to carry that around with you.
But as we take a look here, this tells a whole lot too about that not everything has a happy ending, right?
Right. One of the ladies there in the purple cap, her name was Connie. And Connie was, I had started my first position in full-time ministry was at the refuge. And that's kind of how everything began to evolve. But Connie had exited the program because she couldn't stay sober, and she was found dead in the front seat of her car. She had overdosed or on drugs and alcohol.
But you're doing everything you can to make sure that other families don't go through this. I see you here. You're on the the steps of the Capitol. You're there trying to make a difference. What is your goal when you are out making these speeches and out talking and pounding the pavement to pave the way for others?
Well, for me, there are so many collateral consequences that come attached to the mistakes that we make. People are incarcerated for extenuous periods of time without the rehabilitation that they need, and the rehabilitation that they get is not included into their parole opportunities. So we'd like to make changes within the parole system so that people get credit for the rehabilitation that they do while they're there, and opportunities coming out that collateral consequences are not attached to those of us like myself who lost our nursing license. By the grace of God, though, I did get it back 17 years later.
Yes, that's huge. So you lost that license, but you went and you didn't know. You went on a wing and a prayer, right? Not knowing if you could get it.
I did. I applied to the board and they're like, well, we need a forensic psychological evaluation. They wanted all this crazy stuff. Right now, I'm on probation and I'm having to check in every day. And if the little tag says that I have to go pee, then I have to go urinate for the board of nursing, at any given time. There are other stipulations, like no narcotics. I can't give any narcotics right now, but I've got a wonderful employer who's working alongside me, and all of this stuff will be wrapped up in April, and I'll be able to work, at the capacity that I did previously in the nursing field.
I want everyone to look at the difference of this. So we started here. Life is really tough. I mean, things are brutal, right? And then look at this. Now you're working with officers. You're hugging them. Look at that beautiful smile. I mean, talk about just literally night and day, a 180 in your life.
What we did there, we had got with the community and we did a prayer walk through, that was after George Floyd had died and the Black Lives Matter were all over the United States rising up. And we said, we need to go into this community and find unity in the community. And so we invited everyone out and we prayer walked through the community.
Incredible. I want to talk more about you going back to school. So at what point did you firmly have your feet on the ground where you were making money again? You decided, you could afford to go back to college and get multiple degrees. I mean, that's a big step in life.
Well, I'll tell you what God did is he opened up the door for me to work with an Alzheimer's patient in their home. And so I did private duty care, taking care of an elderly lady. And while I was doing that, I decided to get my bachelor's degree in Christian counseling so that I would at least have, the credentials to run the ministry.
Right.
So I went to the College of Biblical Studies in Houston, and I graduated with honors with a degree in biblical counseling. And then I continued from there. I transferred to Regent University and got my master's in human services with a concentration in criminal justice. So now I'm working on my PhD in counseling and psychological studies while working back as an LVN. So I don't know if it all ties together yet, but I hope that I'm paving the way for someone who's coming behind me, who thinks that the all in, get out, is it's over. But prison doesn't mean it's over. It's a new beginning.
That's who? I'm sorry.
That's my husband.
So, the hubby. And what about this cutie petite?
That is my granddaughter Anaya, and I'm raising her. So I have
so beautiful.
Yeah.
And what a beautiful story you have to teach your grandkids about life lessons, and how no matter what happens in life, you can always pull yourself up. And if you get on the wrong track, you can get back on. I mean, nobody could prove that more than you. It's just remarkable to see. What does this mean to you, actually?
That is, we do a 12-step meeting, a biblical 12-step meeting in the house that we open to the public, which means anybody who's struggling with addiction or any problems at all can come on Thursday nights at 7:00, and we open up our Bibles and we talk about where to find our hope and our strength. At the Yellow House is where we have it. So that's where we are in Livingston, Texas, and we're the big yellow house on the corner by Lifeline Church.
Oh, I love this so much. Explain this. It's beautiful.
That is in Kilgore. We went to the Cross Rock Garden that they have there, and they have these beautiful statues. And I told my friend, I said, let me get my Bible. I want you to take a picture of me at the feet of Mary. So I just opened up my book, and she did.
Oh, it is just such a beautiful picture. That just makes my heart feel peaceful just looking at it and just being there and seeing. And then what an amazing group of people. You just have one after another here.
I'm telling you, through all this advocacy work, I am now sitting on the steering committee of the Statewide Leadership Council. And these are family members and previously incarcerated individuals that are working to make legislative changes in the state of Texas to help other people who have been formerly incarcerated.
Oh my goodness. Everyone just here doing what you can to truly make a difference in this world. It's just incredible. What about this crew?
That's us in Livingston. We did an Advocacy Day 101 and did training in Livingston to train people how to advocate for their family members.
And then tell me what it took for you to go from a terribly and painful abusive relationship. And we see families get on that track, and it seems like they attract those same people and they get in that awful pattern. But you show this picture of your loving husband. How did you make that change and put down your foot and say, no more, I'm not going to stand for that?
It didn't happen overnight. And I actually got involved with someone who hit me. And when he hit me and I separated myself from him in 2013, I didn't drink and drug over it. I really started doing the soul searching. And I'm like, what is it about me that continues to attract men like that? Mm-hmm. And I said, no more men. So at that point, I decided I'm not getting in a relationship until God brings the man he wants me to be with. And so when my eyes turned to the Lord, instead of to seeking a man to have a relationship with, then all these things changed in my life because my heart wasn't in that place of trying to find satisfaction in a relationship anymore.
Well, and you have a beautiful family. These are all your sweet grandkids.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Oh, what a fun family.
That's Mr. James White. That's our local representative. He's also the chair of the corrections committee. And I moved to Livingston, and he is my local representative. And he came out to the ministry house, and he has supported us in our efforts time and time again. Just love him to death.
And look at that sweet picture. You're getting lots of loving. Never a dull moment for you.
Never a dull moment with the family.
Now tell me about this.
That is us at the Capitol. That is actually my granddaughter's mother. Her name's Brittany. And we had gone to Austin to the governor's mansion and picketed about the parole reform that we were trying to get done.
Wow. I mean, you're seriously taking care of some business. I want you to talk to everybody about, because everybody has low points in their life. And I feel like sometimes you dig yourself in that pit and it's real hard to get up. It's real easy to throw a pity party for yourself. But you not only went through all those horrifying things of surgeries, from abuse, from jail time, from making yourself become sober, trying every program over and over again. Where do you suggest people dig deep to find that kind of strength, no matter what it is? It could be a number of things that are affecting their lives, but how do they go about perhaps getting some superpowers like that?
So many times we look to other people. We want people to be able to give us answers. We will search through programs and books and seeking, help me. But when I finally came to the end of myself, I quit looking at people to help me, and I looked to God to help me. And so when I did that, and I said, okay, Lord, it's between you and I. You created me, you fix me, because I can't fix it, and nobody else has been able to fix it either. You know, they had great ideas, but I didn't have the ability to apply those great ideas to my life. Mm-hmm. But once I surrendered and said, okay, I'm done trying to do it my way. Let's do it your way, Lord. Things began to change, and not that it was easy. I mean, it sounds simple, but it's hard. It's the hardest thing I've ever done, and it's still daily to give it over, because if I start running the show, undoubtedly I'm going to screw it up.
As a restorer of streets, of city streets, when you say, I'm sure you say something similar to the men, women you're working with, how do they react, and how often do you see them actually able to turn their lives around? Do you get to follow and see the difference? I see the reaction. I'm thinking, yes.
Yeah, we've had some wonderful success stories. One that comes to mind, her name is Laura. She was one of the first ladies who came through the house, and she has now bought a home in Livingston. And so she is moving right alongside the ministry so that she can continue to give back. And our house manager, Ms. Leanne, came in at 53 and got her GED. And now she's getting a bachelor's degree in organizational leadership. And we purchased a food trailer. I don't know if you have a picture of the food trailer, but we have a food trailer there at the ministry as well. And we're helping hopefully to employ the women and to train them in customer service skills and being able to do outreach and give back to the community through food.
I have so many photos of you, but I don't think I can find that particular one that you're talking about. They're little bitty thumbnails, so it's hard to tell, but I was trying to see, no, we're back to that one. I can't find it. Well, it's got to feel incredible though. How fulfilling to be able to see people actually making a difference by how you help them. Now, do you have assigned people that you work with through your organization? Can people reach out to you if they need help? Who could reach out to you if possible?
Anybody who wants to talk to me can reach out to me. I'm an open book, and I would love to help anybody, that I can. If I can't help you, maybe I can help you find the resources that you need and point you in the right direction. And we have a website, www.restoreofcitystreets.org. You can find us there. There's a phone number and email. Reach out to us. We're on Facebook, social media. We're everywhere. So we're here.
Just day by day, week by week, month by month, you're restoring our streets and all the people in it. It's got to be an amazing feeling. Has that been a little more challenging during the pandemic?
Not really. Not really, because we didn't change anything.
Yeah.
Other people changed things. We continued to take people in. We didn't have any problems. We did get COVID that ran through the house one time, and so after that, we just do
going on.
Wear your mask, stay 6 feet apart. If you're feeling sick, get in your room, close the door.
Exactly. Well, you're just a force to be reckoned with, such a positive force in our community. Thank you for joining us for Lunch for the Soul, for making a difference.
Thank you.
So many people. It's just truly an honor to talk to you, to see your journey, and to see you come out so beautifully on the other side. So bless you. Happy holidays to you and everyone in your life. Thanks everybody for joining us for Lunch for the Soul. We hope to see you next week. Love and hugs. Bye.